talk about some of the games coming up in Week 5. So we already talked about this one briefly, but you have number 25 ranked Memphis going against SMU, who is 3-0. And this is a game that I'm really interested to see because Memphis came out and they played Arkansas State in that Week 1 game. And they beat Arkansas State, who we now know is a pretty solid team. They're a good team. They beat Kansas State, who we were just talking about. And now we know just how good the Sun Belt really is. You have to watch out for Coxie. He's a stud receiver. But SMU has a lot of talent too. They're fucking 3-0, and that's the thing that I think is going to give the edge is just how much playing time at game speed SMU has over Memphis right now.
I think that this is going to be a pretty interesting game too. But what I expect from this game is that SMU has a decent defense generally, and Memphis has generally a pretty solid offense, and that's one thing that I think was the demise, and I'm basing all of this off of my knowledge from what I've seen last season when Cincinnati played Memphis twice and we lost both times. And, their defense was really what kind of just gave us trouble, and their offense was able to execute. But going against SMU, SMU's schedule starting off, it's not like those games seemed like anybody that was notable or really tough.
No,
but that's good warm up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, now I don't think they've had any injuries. I don't know, but I don't think they have. And because of that, these guys are going to come out rolling. Like, they're hot, I think. And Memphis has got one win under their belt. That was a decent win, and I think that this is going to be an interesting matchup. I can't really choose who I think is going to win this one.
So do you want to do our picks while we're talking about these games coming up?
Yeah, we'll make the picks as we go through. I think that's the right thing to do.
So now you're being held to it, buddy.
Okay, that's fine. I'll pick. I'm probably if I had to choose, I'm probably gonna go ahead and choose SMU. But that's just because I don't like Memphis. Never have, never will. Whenever we played Memphis at Cincinnati, it was always a bit of a dogfight, and there was always some shit talk. We never got along with those guys. So I'm gonna go SMU.
All right. So Darby, what's your take on this one?
Well, I think coming into this, I think SMU's at a big advantage. I'm with you on thinking that SMU should be ranked instead of Memphis.
Yes.
They've had more time to get the kinks worked out. I think they're going to be way more fresh than Memphis is. I'm taking SMU. I'm already sold on it. I like their offense. And I think just the big thing is having 3 games under your belt versus just 1. I think that's going to be a huge, huge deal.
So here's where I'm at on it. SMU, their first 3 games were Texas State, who we know is a solid ball club. That's another one of those Sun Belt teams that really came out and showed out. North Texas, and then they just played fucking SF Austin. Yeah, Stephen F. Austin. And they won 50-7 in that game. So they are really rolling.
They've worked out almost all of their kinks, I feel like.
My thing for them is, can they stop the firepower offensively that Memphis has? So their defense only has 7 sacks this season. I say only, that's still a good amount of sacks for 3 games, but that's also against lesser competition. So you throw that in there, and the turnovers are going to be key. You look at the turnovers that SMU's had so far. They've had 3 interceptions, and
You're talking about on the defense side, right?
yeah, and 4 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries. That's pretty solid, but I'm just not sure that defensively they're going to be able to stop the 2 big receivers for Memphis and Coxie, and I'm blanking on the other one. Or it's Coxie and Dykes. So Sean Dykes and DeMonte Coxie. So those 2 guys are both NFL caliber receivers.
Yeah.
And SMU, while they have more game speed and more game experience, the fuck just happened here?
I don't know.
Your Discord just popped up? Is that what that is?
Okay. Yeah, that was weird. Don't know why that happened. But I think that Memphis is too talented for SMU. I think it'll be a close game, and Memphis is going to make a couple mistakes. But I think Memphis wins in a tight one, man.
I think Memphis is not going to be disciplined enough. I think Memphis is going to shoot themselves in the feet with penalties.
And I can see that.
They do that. They're known for that.
Yeah.
And they love to talk shit.
And it's a new coach.
And also
Mike
true.
Norvell's not there
So their
anymore.
discipline, because of the new coach, may not be quite there. I think Memphis is going to shoot themselves in the foot a few times. They're going to have some turnovers, and they're going to have some penalties that are going to set them back and be game-changing penalties. And I think SMU is going to run away with it. That's my take. Because I just know how Memphis is. They're dogs. They play hard, and they compete. But I don't think they're that disciplined. And only having one game under their belt, and SMU having 3, SMU is going to come into that game disciplined, ready to go. And it's all. I think penalties might be a setback for Memphis.
Yeah, and I could see that, but I still think the talent level is a little too much in favor of Memphis. So with that one said, let's move on and take a look at Louisiana Tech and BYU. Now, I think we all know where this one is going. LA Tech is 2-0, but it's against nobodies. And
A bunch of dads.
And they've had one of them, Southern Miss, was a tight game.
Mm-hmm.
They won on a last-second touchdown, toe tap at the back of the end zone. And we know what BYU is capable of.
Yep.
So I believe the spread right now is 22 in favor of BYU. I'm going to go ahead and say that they will cover that shit with ease.
Yeah.
I think they're going to put it on LA Tech.
I think so too. I think BYU is just hands down the most disciplined football team that we might watch this year. And on top of that, their run game, their run defense is just phenomenal. They have it's a bunch of 27-year-olds, but like on top of the fact that, like I said, like they have a solid nose tackle, they have a solid linebacker core, and they've always been known for their linebacker core. But now with they have some solid dudes on their defensive line, and I think that this defense is just going to continue to shut dudes out because that's what they've been doing continuously. Their 48-7 win against Troy, I mean, that just tells you how good their defense is. No, it's Troy. Okay?
But look what they did to Navy game 1.
Yeah, like that.
55-3.
Yeah, like their defense is solid. And Navy realized that they needed to step things up. Navy had to step some things up, clearly. They weren't ready, but BYU's aggressive. They hit hard. They get you in the mouth. They cover their holes, and they're very disciplined. I think BYU definitely runs away with that game.
Yeah. Darby, what's your take, man?
Well, I'm in favor of BYU. I'm actually not in favor of them covering the spread. I don't think it'll be that big of a blowout.
Really?
No, I think LA Tech will hold its own offensively. I don't think it's gonna be a close game. I think it'll be double digits, but I wouldn't say 22. I think it's gonna be more in 2 touchdown range. But I do think I'm very confident BYU taking that game.
All right. Well, let's move on to the question from this week. Texas. They're playing Texas Christian, TCU.
Mm-hmm.
Another in-state game. TCU is going to be fired up for it. And, man, I got to take Texas with this, but I don't know. I have some big concerns.
What was TCU's schedule so far? Who
So
scores?
they've only played Iowa State, and it
Okay.
was 37-34. They won a tight one.
Lost.
Okay.
Or lost a tight one, my bad.
Isn't TCU generally like they're usually respected for their defense, aren't they?
No, they have
Maybe in the past.
They
Maybe I'm
have
thinking
big
old TCU.
talent, but they always lose games.
They're typically known for their skill positions.
Yes.
Like their
Okay.
wide receivers and running backs. Is what
Okay.
they're really known for.
Then yeah, I don't really know. I think Texas still wins. I think Texas is going to work out some of their kinks from their game. I think Texas is going to fix a lot of shit. I think they're aware of the stuff that they need to fix after this previous game. And I don't. That's tough. But I'm gonna say Texas wins. And what's the spread on that?
I don't know what the spread is on this
Okay,
one.
did not have that up yet.
No,
Okay.
because I don't think they. Not all the games. The
Yeah.
spread for all the games are out yet. So.
Okay. No, I have Texas winning it.
Yeah, I'm taking Texas too. Mainly because I'm not high on TCU this year at all.
Yeah. I think Texas wins, and I think it's by at least 3 scores, man. I think they're going to get some. Because, I mean, you look at their last game, Sam Ehlinger still had 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So their offense is going to move. and I'm not that impressed with TCU's offense. I think Texas's defense is going to be able to get a lot more stops. So that's kind of what I expect from Texas and TCU. But let's move on to what's the next one we got on?
I want to lead off with this one.
Okay, let me.
Texas A&M versus Alabama. I got Texas A&M pulling off the upset.
Whoa.
Yep. I'm taking A&M over Alabama.
Oh.
I think this is going to be your first big SEC cannibalize thing. I think this.
You see that week 1 result, right?
I get that. I'm still taking Texas A&M.
Really,
dude? I'm telling you, Alabama when it comes to when you give me Alabama versus Texas A&M versus Auburn. I like those two, man. I like the 2 upsets. Even though I'm not that high on them, I feel it. I feel it in me bones. Oh. This is going to be an upset.
Okay.
I have Bama. I'm going to take Bama.
I have Bama.
I'm going to be safe about it.
Dude, all right. This is another rank that I have a gripe with now that I'm actually looking at it. A&M beat Vandy 17-12. That's Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
17-12. Bama's going to win this with ease. Ease. 3 touchdowns. 21 points. More, maybe. Bama is going to roll Tide.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll be seeing who roll Tides next week.
Dixieland Delight. Let's get it going.
Oh.
A&M, find me a song to play when you guys win.
Good. They ain't gigging them. I can tell you that much. Holy shit. That was out of left field. I was not expecting
what's funny
that.
is, I'm about to be on a roll because guess what? I've got Boston College with the upset over North Carolina.
Well,
okay.
You're a little late to the party, pal. Yes, Boston College, I'm right there with you. Jeff Hafley is going to have that team ready. Now, they didn't perform as well as I would have liked them to see against Texas Tech. But like I said, Texas Tech is actually a solid ball club. That's another one of those Sun Belt schools that plays really close with the big boys. I think, actually I can't say I think Boston College wins, but Luke, you take this over. I gotta think about this one a little bit.
You guys remember week 1, the first time we did our recording, what I said about Boston College and how ignorant that was?
Yes.
I don't know why I did it, but now I'm sticking to it, all right? I'm going Boston College, okay? I don't know what it is, but I've always liked Boston College for some reason, and that's just from previous, when I was in high school, watching them play, and when I was in college and still watching them play. They've always been a team that's, like, kind of surprises people, so I'm going to go Boston College.
Well,
just a hunch.
Go ahead.
It's Boston College has played better than I thought they would so far.
Yes.
It's more due to I am not so, and I've been saying it since before the season. I am not that high on North Carolina. I think they're extremely overhyped, and they didn't show me it against Syracuse. Okay. I get it was only 21-6, dude.
I know.
Only 21-6. This is that North Carolina team that everybody said was every analyst you listen to. That's my sleeper pick in the ACC to go over top Notre Dame.
Well,
bullshit.
My thing is I think this is really difficult for me. I think this is going to be one of the closest games of the weekend. Of the games that we have on our list, I think this is going to be a really tightly contested game. But again, I'm with you. I have to kind of stick with my gut and my preseason pick. And I got to take North Carolina in a tight one. I think Hal is going to get it going finally. Now, I would have liked to see their game against, Charlotte, not get canceled. But so they would have had 2 games under their belt. But I still think North Carolina will take this one very tight. I think 7 to 3 points. I think it's a 1-score ball game. I just got to stick with my gut and North Carolina, and I have faith in Mr. Mack.
All right. Okay.
So who we got next? Oh, I see who we got next.
Yep.
Luke, go ahead and lead on this one, Bubba.
UC takes away the USF. USF. Sorry, not UCF. USF. USF is 1-2. UC is 2-0. I think UC is going to pull this one away. But at the same time, I think that this is going to be an interesting battle yet again. Like, this is going to be another game where Cincinnati is going to come into it and they're not going to come out firing all pistons. Now, I'd love for them to surprise me. I would love to see them coming out just firing away and running up the tables, but I don't think that's how the game's going to go. I think it's going to be a pretty evened out battle, and I think it's going to go back and forth. And then I think you're going to see probably coming into like third quarter and fourth quarter, they're going to kind of start to separate themselves.
Are you losing faith?
Dude, nope, because I'm going to be your fucking hype man right now. I've got Cincinnati winning by over 20 points. Easy. So I think this is going to be the game that Cincinnati finally gets their shit figured out and really starts to show us what the hype was coming into the season. I mean, dude, USF got blanked by Notre Dame, okay?
Yeah.
This is that game, you know,
Look at
I
week
can
one.
respect...
Look
I
at
can-
week one.
I
Yeah.
understand the Army game, and we can go back to the week before, but the Army game especially wasn't what we thought it would be in terms of I know you thought there'd be more.
Yeah.
Army's a tough game.
Yeah.
They're a tough team defensively, or to put shit together offensively against, just because of how their defense works. They're a tough team.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, we've seen Ohio State struggle against Navy and Army in the past,
Yeah.
early on, and then get it rolling.
Mhm.
But I really do think that this USF team's gonna get blanked
Yeah.
by you guys.
And-
Okay.
Easy.
I hesitate because
I understand.
once again,
why.
like I watch our defense guys, and we're not flying around and fucking people up yet. We're not
Yeah.
there yet. We didn't do that to Army like we could have. You know, you guys saw like we were able to stop them and hold them after like a prolonged, because Army kind of just ran themselves into the dirt a little bit because they got tired, because we were still holding them to 3 yards almost every play. But still, regardless of that, they're not that fast. Army's not fast. USF is fucking fast. They have fast football players.
This is.
But-
I understand why you have your concerns. You're very critical because they're your team,
Yeah.
and you're very critical of them. However, with that said,
I don't want to overhype it. I don't want to.
this isn't overhyping you. USF beat the Citadel. They only put 27 points up on the Citadel. You guys, your defense only gave up 3 points to Army. All right, you guys, whether you're flying to the ball or not, it's a very bend don't break defense, and those you can give up a lot of yards, but as long as you aren't giving up the touchdowns, which so far you haven't, even against some good competition,
Yeah.
you're going to have success. I'm with Darby. I think this is at least a 3-score game, and Cincinnati really gets it going. I think Cincinnati's defense still bends don't break, and Ritter finally gets it going, starts hitting his spot with the ball, and doesn't have the inaccuracy issues that he's had thus far. And I think he's going to have a clean pocket the entire game.
Yeah.
I'm not concerned about that at all. This is a game I think Cincinnati wins easily.
This will get
and-
their confidence rolling and get them really rolling in.
and really, I think that this is going to be one of those games where that Cincinnati uses to build momentum going into these next 2 weeks are going to be really some confidence builders to get them into the meat of their schedule.
Right. I hesitate so much, fellas, because I do not want to set myself up for massive disappointment and end up feeling like an idiot. And like
Well, we got
I know,
you.
I appreciate that, fellas. I think we can do it too, and I love the hype that you guys build into it, and I hope it's 100% correct. I think, the more we talk about it, then yeah, I could see us beating USF by 20 points. I think we're definitely capable of doing that. I know we're capable of doing that. I just pray to God that we stay disciplined, don't shoot ourselves in the foot, and don't give up stupid turnovers. If we can do that, then yeah, there's no doubt in my mind we put up 20 or more.
Yeah. So let's go on to a big ranked matchup, Auburn and Georgia. So I'm going to take the lead on this one.
I know where you're going with it.
Yep.
This is a game that I'm going to have a lot of fun watching it. It's probably going to hurt. I hope Georgia has the old uniforms on when they come out of the tunnel. But
Is it at Georgia?
yeah, it's at Georgia.
They'll be in those ugly
But
black ones.
Yeah, the ones with the dog teeth.
With the dog teeth. How
Yeah.
retarded are you guys?
Fucking awful. But Georgia only beat Arkansas 37-10. They did not look impressive. It didn't look clean. It was game 1, but it's still fucking Arkansas. You got to perform better than that. Auburn, Darby, you said you weren't impressed with them. I think they played really well against a solid Kentucky team. And I think Kentucky is going to be one of those sneaky teams that can pull off an upset here and there throughout the year.
Well,
As
don't
much-
get me wrong. I picked Kentucky over Auburn. Okay,
As
I
much
did.
as much as it hurts me, I'm going to take Auburn this week. I don't think Georgia is going to have their shit together in time. I think Auburn looked a lot more clean. I like Bo Nix to I don't. It hurts. It hurts. I don't like it, but I gotta go with Auburn, man.
I'm keeping faith in the talent, and I'm taking Georgia. I think that in terms of talent gap, I think Georgia's far ahead of Auburn. I actually think it'll be an insanely close game. I think it's going to come down to it's going to be one of those last possession games. It'll probably be a field goal or touchdown wins it.
Something you have to take into account is all of the reports and the locker room issues within that program that have been coming out recently. There have been shit ton of reports about racism within the program and the staff.
It's all negative stuff.
And kids not being happy or comfortable or feeling safe within the program. That shit is going to eat them alive. It's not good. And I think that is going to be a huge issue for the Bulldogs.
They're not going to be focused on their game. They're going to be focused on trying to stay together.
Yeah.
And that's hard to win a football game when you're trying to focus on being together as a unit.
And
over who you're playing.
I don't like where things are trending for Georgia, man. I think that's Auburn's too good of a team. You're coming off of an ugly win. You have a bunch of toxic shit within the program that kids are dealing with. I don't see it. Luke?
Yeah, I take Auburn. I think same thing with a program that's completely distracted about trying to take care of each other and stay together as a unit. I'm hoping, I would assume that that's hopefully the coach's focus this week. It should be before they even really prepare for this football game. Otherwise, the preparation isn't going to do anything because as soon as they hit adversity in the game against Auburn, they're going to fucking collapse.
Yeah.
And, when that happens, Auburn's just going to ride away into the sunset with the W because Georgia right now, I don't know what the fuck the deal is. I don't know if it's the coaching staff. I don't know where the toxicity is coming from, but I think they're going to eat themselves alive unless they really take the time to focus on fixing each other this weekend and then somehow can focus on getting a game ready, getting a game plan ready for who they've got. Because Auburn's going to bring it.
And Georgia has a fucking tough stretch of a schedule. I don't think Georgia ends the season ranked at all. Because they have Auburn this week, Tennessee next week, then Bama, then Kentucky, then Florida. Then they have Missouri, Mississippi State, and then they have SC and Vandy to end the year. But I think Georgia may be a 3 to 4 loss team by the end of the year with all of the locker room issues that are going on.
I think so too.
But let's get into our last pick for the week. Oklahoma, Iowa State. Obviously, Oklahoma coming off of a huge letdown loss. Iowa State coming off of a good win. Darby, what is your take here on Oklahoma and Iowa State? Because I have a feeling I know which way you're going with it.
Iowa State, he says.
I'm taking Iowa State. Typically, I like bounce back games with big teams, but I'm actually going to go on record. I think Spencer Rattler's going to throw 3 interceptions again, and that's going to be the catalyst to them losing. I just feel, based off what I saw against Kansas State, man, I really think Iowa State's got a solid defense, and I'm big on this upset. I think Iowa State takes it.
I have to disagree with your upset pick once again. I think this is going to be the bounce back game for Spencer Rattler and Oklahoma. Whereas Iowa State, I like to root for them. After the loss to Louisiana and barely squeaking out the win against TCU, I'm not impressed.
I get that, but Oklahoma just lost to a team that lost to Arkansas State.
Yeah, and this is a team that lost to Louisiana.
I get that. That's what I'm saying.
So that kind of, those two are, I don't think that matters. I think Iowa State is not talented enough to hang with Oklahoma. It's going to turn into a shootout, and Oklahoma has overwhelmingly the more talented and explosive offense.
Well, but when it comes to shootouts, if it truly does come down to a shootout,
Who's got the better defense?
who's got the better defense?
Oklahoma.
Iowa State.
Who's got the quarterback that throws a shit ton of interceptions so far? I mean, all I can go off
That's
is last year
one
or last
game.
week. I get that, but as
You
a
just
true
gotta be
freshman,
rattled.
it's a confidence thing, dude.
Iowa State's defense couldn't do shit against Louisiana. I know Louisiana, we love them, but that's still, they still gave up 34 to TCU, and they gave up 31 against Louisiana. They're giving up 30 points minimum a game right now. And you look at, they scored 37 last week. They only scored 14 against Louisiana. That is not good. I still think that overwhelmingly the offensive firepower is in favor, and the talent overall is in favor of Oklahoma. Oklahoma has the more talented players, and whether the defensive scheme or whatever is going on defense, the talent is going to be overwhelming for Iowa State. I don't see Iowa State winning it.
I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to go with Darby. I think Oklahoma's overrated. I think...
Oh, I'm not saying
No.
they aren't overrated. I'm just saying they're going to win this game.
Okay, I think Iowa State's going to win because generally I know that this is a pretty solid game in terms of what we've seen in years past. And because of that, I think that Iowa State's going to come out with a solid game plan again because that's what happened in years past when everyone thought Oklahoma was going to run the tables on Iowa State. Iowa State still came out with a solid game plan and they executed it and they blew a lot of people away when they did what they did against Oklahoma. And I think they're going to do the same thing because it's the same fucking coaching staff. I think they're going to still put together a solid game plan and they're going to come out and do something that's going to be unexpected.
So,
And they're going to do good. I think they're going to be okay.
well,
Regardless of talent. Because Iowa State's recruiting has also gone up, but that's going to take a couple years. But, I mean, they've been there for a little while. I think Iowa State's still got some good talent on their team.
this is going to be interesting because we're going to have to lock these picks in this week, and I think it's going to be we differ on a lot of picks, and I think this is going to be a good week for me to pull away. So the standings right now are for last week. I had 9 games. Luke had 7 games, and Darby had 5 games. So
Not a good week for me. But I'm going to bounce back this week with my upset picks and come close.
I think I'm going to continue to pull away because I do not see it. And we'll see. We're going to be here Saturday watching on all 4 screens, and it will be a fun time.
Well, this is a perfect segue point. We've got an entirely new segment planned